These games are ranked by PlayScore, a standard rating that averages gamer and critic reviews. Opening our list of top 10 PC zombie games is of course Dying Light, not to be mistaken with its enhanced edition. This vanilla version of Techland's hit zombie game opens our list. Set in an African city of Haran, stop a terrorist group from further spreading a mysterious epidemic. Control a man tasked to save this quarantined city from a viral threat. Some players are even calling it the best zombie game from Techland since Dead Island, due to its impressive verticality and fluid parkour mechanics. Daytime serves as an integral factor to the game due to resource collecting and upgrades, but the thrill of the game lies in its nighttime mode. Run away from dangerous volatiles and keep close to the light. It's a rewarding zombie game with its undead carnage, badass weapons, and exploration. The story could use some rework though. It receives a play score of 8.13. Ninth place is Dead Rising. Keiji Inafune's zombie game is everything we loved about the genre. Put a photojournalist in the middle of an undead-infested mall and left him there to die with a bunch of survivors, and voila! You have a game that opened new possibilities to the genre. Dead Rising is a sandbox beat-em-up game that adds a bunch of comedic touches to its core gameplay. Inside the mall, everything can be used for your advantage. Grab a baseball bat from the sports store to crack zombie heads, dress yourself up in formal wear, or grab a vehicle to ram the undead. There's so much stuff to do with its campaign, and with protagonist Frank West, it's gonna be insanity. The game has multiple endings, which add flavor to its replay value. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to take down a horde of zombies with style? It has a play score of 8.16. 8th is Killing Floor. How about something from Tripwire Interactive? Originally a mod from Unreal Tournament 4, embrace the carnage with relentless zombie-like specimens determined to end your life. The game relies heavily on multiplayer and is divided into two modes, Killing Floor and Objective. In Killing Floor, players try their damnedest to survive a chaotic onslaught of monsters that become difficult in every wave. Objective, however, has missions quest that is up to you and your buddies to complete every objective. After each wave, stack up on items and buy the most powerful weapons with the trader. Survival is key. It is a ridiculous amount of fun, and with mod support, it just keeps getting better, and has a play score of 8.37. 7 is State of Decay. When the apocalypse comes, what's your survival plan? In one of the most satisfying zombie games ever made, it's time to put your theoretical survival plans to the test. Venture to the once sunny skies of Undead Labs and live another day. While shooting zombies is as fun and necessary in this game, this open-world sandbox provides the best overall experience, combining the fun of shoot-em-ups with the strategic wits of resource management and base building. Find yourself the perfect makeshift home and hope for the best. With its interesting day and night cycle, face the inevitable encounters in the darkness and scour the land for food, water, and materials. Luckily, you'll have cars at your side, letting you finish off those unwanted visitors with the fulfilling crack of dead bones and the splash of undead fluids. Avoid death at all costs with a play score of 8.37. 6th is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Horror makes a grand return in Capcom's latest entry to their macabre and virulent franchise. Step inside a sinister mansion in Dovey, Louisiana and find your missing wife. Meet the lovely Baker family and prepare for a night of intense Nope experience. It's a whole new Resident Evil experience with the introduction of a first-person mode. This game widely differs from its predecessors. Zombies aren't a thing anymore, but the presence of experimental creatures called the Molded are a force to be reckoned with. Not to mention the Baker family has a ton of surprises up their sleeves. Critics and players love the game's nostalgic trip to the franchise's signature themes. They also praise the game's unnerving atmosphere, making every hallway creeping with fear. It has a play score of 8.43. 5th is Killing Floor 2. Tripwire Interactive scores points across the board with their newest entry. Get back into the Killing Floor packed with more weapons, maps, and modes. Face off against the horrifying Zeds, a group of mutated creatures formed after a deadly outbreak. Whatever they are, these new not-quite zombie forces will ruin your day, waves after endless waves. With their enhanced graphical updates, the massacres get even more intense. Shoot faces, tear off limbs, and decapitate them alone or alongside 5 other friends in a bloody co-op mode. There's 3 new perks to explore, try on every character, and fiddle around with an arsenal of weapons. From improvised guns to technologically devised monstrosities. It nails the greatest features of the franchise, letting off steam as you destroy each terrifying horde. Not without a story mode to back it up, it still manages to become a game you keep coming back to. It has a play score of 8.44. Fourth is Resident Evil HD Remaster. Here comes the king of all zombie games. If it weren't for Capcom's dive into the murky depths of video game horror, then the survival horror concept won't be the way it was today. Meet the original STARS team as they uncover a huge revelation that will eventually lead to their demise. This remaster of the classic Resident Evil game comes with a sweet texture update. Get inside Spencer Mansion and witness RE's humble beginnings in full high definition. Everything feels new and refreshing, making it a completely different experience. Gameplay remains the same though. Players are placed in a fixed camera position in third-person view. Horrors creep beneath the corners and puzzles are still amazing. New hotkeys are also added for quick getaways against the undead. It has a play score of 8.45. Third place is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Now that PopCap's team up with EA was a success, they took the idea of making your favorite homegrown Flores into a battle-hardened machine ready to face the invading hordes of Dr. Zomba's army. This multiplayer third-person shooter feels like a kid-friendly Call of Duty game. Choose from a wide variety of plants from Crazy Dave's garden, and use the right photosynthetic artillery to blow these pesky undead to hell. It is a 4-player co-op mode for you and your friends and 24-player multiplayer for intense backyard warfare. Customize your plants, go into the leaderboards, and try out the various game modes that make this game a huge diversion to the classic TD game we all knew and loved. It is a play score of 8.48. Second place is Left 4 Dead. From the makers of Half-Life and Counter-Strike, Valve opened its doors to another addicting FPS hit in the form of a co-op horror game. While it doesn't have the same polish as its successor, it's still remembered as the classic game that it is. Go to an infected Pennsylvania and eliminate the threat with your band of badass survivors. It was innovative for its time. Navigate through 4 film-like chapters letting you relive the movie frights with the same amount of suspense and tension. Compete with friends in versus and see how far you can last in survival. Throughout all their varying modes, they have a director that controls the pace, items, and more to create a dynamic environment for your gameplay. With a complete movie-like experience, it's a well-remembered classic with a play score of 8.65. Here are the runners-up before we reveal the number 1. Resident Evil 5. The infection spreads rapidly. Follow Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Sheva Alomar in their mission to quarantine a lethal Plaga threat in a fictional region in Africa, and stop Wesker. It has a play score of 8.00. Arizona Sunshine. It's not every day you see a decent-looking zombie VR game. Vertigo Games Shooter takes you to an infested city of Arizona. Fend off the bloodthirsty undead using your reflexes and motions. It has a play score of 7.98. The Final Station. Board the moving train and rummage through the remnants of a post-apocalyptic world filled with infected creatures. This indie game offers a pixel graphics twist to the zombie genre. It has a play score of 7.97. 14 is Dead Island. Techland's first zombie game takes you to an island plagued with the undead. It's an open-world first-person adventure that adds excitement and unpredictability to its melee-centric combat. It has a play score of 7.96. 15 is Resident Evil 4 Ultimate HD Edition. Follow Leon Kennedy in his mission to save the president's daughter from a weird Spanish cult. This remastered version comes in high-quality textures and all the DLCs. It has a play score of 7.91.
You can get these games right now by clicking the link in the description box below.
And the best zombie game on the PC is none other than Left 4 Dead 2. Released in 2010, there's not a lot of games that last as long as this game has. 7 years after, thousands of players still continue to play it to this day. Despite its slightly outdated graphics, persistent lack of levels, and special unlocks, Valve's cooperative FPS is still at the forefront of the zombie killing action. Why? Because it's a great co-op game, that's why. It's a remarkably easy game to pick up, without having to worry about mismatched levels. Everyone's always ready to play. Just gather 4 of your closest friends, get on a keyboard, and let the shoot fest begin. It never gets boring with randomized maps, campaigns, and silly game modes. Top it off with an array of mods that offer even more variety to an already fun game. It's simple, replayable, and it's not needy. The perfect formula for cooperative masterpiece. It has a play score of 8.99.